guys, so a couple weekends ago I was playing around with a variation on this pattern that I had totally forgotten about until tonight. And when I brought it back together, it made me realize it actually dovetailed really well with some other tricks that I've been playing around with a lot lately. So let's dive into it, shall we? This is a horizontal stacking move that both Mel and Poiboi, and it must be said myself and others, have been playing with a lot lately. It is the same pattern as this. This stacking move I learned from Charlie last year. Just instead of having our hands trace out really wide arcs across our body, we flatten those arcs down to having our hands essentially just moving up and down in straight lines. But aside from that, the behavior of the poi is exactly the same. That is, when you come out of it, one hand goes up and does a pendulum while the other one does a loop down below. The pendulum hand then drops down to do a loop itself, while the loop hand goes up to do a pendulum, and ta-da, they come out in the end of it in the same articulation that they started in, but pointing the opposite direction. Now, when I see each edge of this pattern, I see a point which could be construed as either same time, same direction, or it could be construed as split opposites, right? So I started thinking about what if we instead took an articulation that would be more construed as split time, same direction, and applied the same idea, and this is what came out. Same exact recipe, just the poi start off pointing in different directions rather than the same direction. And as you can see, there's a weird asymmetry to this pattern in that both times I go through the middle part, the poi heads are both pointed to my right. Okay, so if we reverse which hand is doing which on each side, that is, I have my right hand start the pendulum instead of my left hand. We find that now both of them are articulated to the left side in that middle point. That is, they're floating past each other. I had to play around with this a little while to realize that there's actually a point right in the middle of this pattern right here, right there, where the poi heads are moving in such a way that they could be construed as moving in split time, same direction. But because split time, same direction looks symmetric to us in that there's poi head pointing each way, we don't think anything of it. We only think something of it when we're put into an articulation where the poi heads will wind up pointing the same direction rather than opposite directions in that middle point. So, in order to make the pattern overall symmetric, what I've been doing is switching which hand does what each repetition of the pattern. There we go. There it is. Cool, huh? The eagle-eyed among you will note that at the cap of each repetition of that pattern, there's a moment when my poi heads are faced away from each other where either I can be at unit circle distance, or if I so chose, I could have my hands mesh up and my poi point away from each other. And we already know from my last hybrid family video that this is a point of articulation that gives us things like pendulum versus triquetra, that gives us these kind of cool point isolator walks. And also gives us either side of this horizontal stacking pattern, which I'm not going to play with because I've already done it to death, and this is a different horizontal stacking pattern. I don't want to mix the two just yet. So when you add that into the equation, you wind up with something that looks like this. Cool, huh? I'm sure there's many more spots to be discovered there, and I haven't even gotten into yet the possibility of doing this in a same time, same direction kind of feel. But yeah, I thought it was at least interesting enough to merit a video. So I hope you guys appreciate it as much as I do, and that you're all having a great week. Thanks for watching, and I will see you a bit later. Peace.